Friday. There we go. Let's try to get this straight here. The Friday edition of Good Dawning with myself, Mr. Floyd. Welcome there. And welcome for everybody who came over from Truth Wave there. Favor Victor there. We've all had those issues. There's a big favor there that we'll see you at 9:45 tonight. And welcome to Mercury retrograde. We had an incredulously amazing example of Mercury retrograde this dawning. So yeah, these things happen. Last Mercury retrograde, one of the Mercury retrograde, my phone tumbled off of the table. I had my old stand, not this heavy duty stand here, but I had my old stand, a folding one, and everything fell off the table, and then the phone rebooted to top everything else. So killed Good Dawning because the phone was it was restarting. So you can just pick it up and restart, continue with the stream. So Good Dawning, Lara B. Yes, you did. It was amazing. Everybody took charge there. And we do what we have to do, and that's the whole point, right? Today, Josh falls off the chair. That'd be hard. It's a really fat bottom chair. It's like an old school, like one of those school chairs, but really big. But yeah, wooden chair. I've been sitting in wooden chairs 7 lifetimes. I don't know. All right, so how are we doing this dawning? We're going to ground into the clear quartz today. And yeah, so... hopefully you are having a good dawning. We are strong. We kick ass. We do? Whose ass? We're gonna go kick some. Let's kick some universal ass this weekend. What's your weekend look like? Do you have amazing plans? Is it? I don't know. Hopefully I get in the Boulder. We'll get a new deck. But the Hero's Journey deck today. I only have like 4 Oracle decks. 3, 4. So we get what we get. Do have a couple tarot decks, but my biggest thing is we pull up a tarot card and I'm like, what's the meaning of this specific card? Because it's not as easy to do a bigger intuitive reading on a tarot cards for 20 people than it is for one individual. You can get clairvoyance or you can get clear pictures of what you need to see. PG, we all did it. Yeah, we can. We create our own truth. We are the truth wave, right? So if Victor isn't producing his version of truth wave, then we will wave our truth when Victor is not or cannot. So there we go. Yeah, and thank you for that, Victor. We do appreciate it. Even goofiness happens, but we definitely appreciate it. And appreciate you, brother. Gotta get to my Zoom class. Thanks. We love you, Helene. Have good time in Zoom, and we will see you in the replay there. Leave a comment on your way out the door would be blessed. But we love you. Have a great weekend, Helene. And, of course, we'll see you throughout the weekend here. All right, couple of updates. Chloe's her GoFundMe. We actually met the goal, and then we raised the goal to $620 so that Chloe can cover the cost of her LL limited liability licensing, her business license as well. So out of Wyoming. So if you guys want to help, we're less than $1.50 or about $1.50 away from Chloe being able to go online and do her LLC and pay for start building her website and pay for a year of web hosting. So the web hosting is done. It's now setting up the LLC, and then once that's all set, it's up to building the website. So if you guys want to help out, that would be blessed. The link, it's not on. I didn't pin it. But the link is on the community tab of the channel here. So please do consider just a couple small donations. And we've raised enough to cover Chloe's first year of web hosting and her LLC. She's got somebody who's going to help her build the website. So we would be all set. And so now it's up to Chloe then to input all those crystals, right? To photograph and to describe and price all those crystals and place them online. But from our end, we will have definitely done our due diligence here. So if you can help out, that would be blessed. The goal is to try to clear this off the table here by the end of the month and get Chloe a check here and get it deposited into her bank. So once it's all set, then I just have to send her a link. I didn't mean to suggest that the American flag is a freak flag. I just couldn't find another flag to put up there. Ha, ha, ha. Well, you never know, right? So everybody, if you stand behind a flag, then you think about this for a second. Those who stand behind a flag are giving away their energies. those who support. I mean, there's one thing, you live in America, so okay. But depending on how you stand behind that flag, that's a lot of crystals. Yeah, I know, Chloe. Why is it favor? We'll see Chloe's crystals are like 10 crystals and 20, and then like eventually we're going to be like thousands of crystals, right? And so that's a favor. But once it's done, though, the cool thing about it, Chloe, is yeah, it's a lot of crystals, but once it's done, then all you got to do is put the new stuff in and keep the inventory up. So favor. My flag is tied. I used to have a flag when I was in the Army. Check this out. And this is how ballsy and how much the Army did not affect myself. So when I was in the Army, I was in a garrison unit, right? So garrison means that somebody has to stay behind, even if World War III breaks out, right? Somebody has to unscrew the little ball on top of the flagpole, right? There's a pin. So you pull the pin out, the flagpole comes down to your left. Then you unscrew the top. There's a razor blade and I think it's a 9mm or 40 cal. I'm not sure, whatever the military standard is. Single bullet and a razor blade and a match. So theoretically, you're supposed to cut down the flag, burn it before they get to it, and then shoot yourself if you're the last one on base. Theoretically, I don't know, you want to kill yourself. But so yeah, so I worked in a garrison unit and didn't have to. Exactly, guys. All civilians. I didn't have to deal with anything. Pretty amazing here. All right, guys. Couple other things here. Chloe's crystals. Speaking of Chloe's crystals, this is Chloe's bowl. So if you want to help out Chloe, we're really close, guys. Minutes away from her. She's gonna have to input all those crystals, favor, but minutes away from her actually doing so. So this I got from Chloe as well. This is her field stones that were in her house. Or at her property, and then we put them in the jade bowl here. So thank you, Chloe, for that was yesterday. That was the purpose of the jade bowl, is to hold all of her field stones and such. All right, let your freak flag. Oh yeah, I was talking about the flag on the back of the door. So I kind of lost my space there. So I had an American flag, right? So I'm in a garrison unit. So I work with all civilians. I work by myself. Kind of like my universe, right? Even at the crystal shop, I'm by myself. But so yeah, I had an American flag with a peace sign where the stars were. There was no stars. There was just a big peace sign and then the stripes on the flag itself. And I had that on the back of my door. So yeah, so when I was in the Army there, I technically had an adulterated American flag. But I got away with it. My first sergeant didn't like it, but he allowed me to keep it up. So yeah. So let your freak flag fly. I flew the same flag at the 99 Arizona Rainbow Gathering. So went from the military. So yeah, bring peace into your universe. So let's work with the Hero's Journey deck here. I still have that flag somewhere, and if I ever do need to fly a flag, it's the American flag with the peace sign in it. All right. A stash ball. The stash ball is in the. If we win a stash ball, I have that. I'll bring that out on Monday, Scotty. I do actually have something that looks like a stash bowl, but all right, not in public. Make love, not war. Exactly. All right, so let's work with the Hero's Journey deck today. See what we ground into for the weekend. Hopefully, you have an amazing weekend planned, and yeah, we're going to rejoin tonight at 9:45. Do not forget, we will see Victor back. He will have updated his computer, and we will have an amazing truth wave there. So thank you, Victor. All right, so let's cut these into three. Un, deux, and trois. There we go. All right, let's see what we get here. Card over here. That's the energetics for the weekend. And then three cards here. How to obtain those energetics. Let's see what we got here. All right. So today we are going to flip it upside down. We got that yesterday, and you saw me shuffle them here. So again, it's asking you to flip the script and the question your beliefs over the weekend. So yeah, when you go out this weekend, question your beliefs. Are your beliefs set in the old you? Are you changing? Are your beliefs changing? Are you allowing them to change based on your current universe, right? As you change, are your beliefs changing? Are you set in your old ways, your old energies? Is the question to ask yourself. All right, so to get to that, pull back to propel forward. So it's asking you then to you're in great company. Of course, we didn't do numbers here. So the number on this card is 9. 9 is it's a 70. It's actually 27, but 27 and 7 and 2 is 9. So 9 is a cycle change. If you're not familiar with numerology, 9 is the ending of one cycle and the beginning of another. All right, so 16 on this one, which is 7, which is luck. You're in great company. Pull back to propel forward. So it's asking you to kind of wheel up your energy before you relaunch, so to speak. So what does everybody have a wrench at the end? Why? Because I made them, if you watch the channel long enough, I consider everybody a family. So we made them a sub on the channel here, but we're going to do this as well. Just boop, boop. There we go. Alrighty. North Star. So it's asking you to follow your North Star, which would be number 19, which is number 10, which is number 1, which is you. North Star, which makes sense. 1 is you, 0 is the universe. So flip your inner light switch. There you go. So flip on your light. So it's asking you to flip it upside down. First, you're going to go upside down. Then we're going to flip on our light. So we're going to see where we flip it on once we turn it on. And then finally, number 14, which is number 5. Where you're at is where it's at. You get 2 turntables and a microphone, right? Stay still until you are divinely moved. So it's asking you to park it for a moment until you have till you move with the divine. So from universe's end then. So number 27, which is a 9, flip it upside down. Question your beliefs. So over the weekend there, are you questioning your beliefs? Do your beliefs change, and have they changed since you started your step into awareness? I'm not even going to call it an ascension per se, but just stepping into a greater awareness is really what we're doing. And as you do you allow for your beliefs to change within that? That is the question. So it's flip it upside down. Question your beliefs. All right, number 16, number 7. You're in great, these don't matter really what order they're in. You're in great company. Pull back to propel forward. So it's asking you to pull your energy back to like relaunch, right? So what are you going to relaunch into is the question. And did you flip it upside down, or are you in your old energy? Dale, good dawning. North Star, flip your inner light switch. Again, it's number 10, which 1 is you and 0 is the universe. So flip your inner light switch on. If you flip your light switch on, then you can pull back a little and get propelled. And it's asking number 14, which is number 5, which 5 is a change as well. So 14 equals 5. 5 is change. We have a 9 in there as well. So there's big changes. It's asking you to flip it upside down, which is 9, cycle change. So step into the change. Did not freak out or bail on each other. We say exactly. That's the point. We don't flip out. Where number 14 then, or 5. So where you are is where it's at. And of course, if there's 2 turntables and a microphone, it's definitely where you're at. Stay still until you are divinely moved. So it's asking you to flip your script, question your beliefs, and then stay put until you are divinely moved, and then move with the spirit. But are you questioning your beliefs? That's the question to ask yourself, because as you shift, I put the lid in the box. There we go. Put the 2 together. So as you shift, are you questioning your beliefs? Are you shifting with your beliefs? Are you allowing your beliefs to shift with your energy? Or are you a dichotomy within yourself? A lot of us don't shift our beliefs, or we don't shift with the energy, so we're a dichotomy. In one case, we're feeling the new energies, but if we don't shift, then we're stuck in the old. And if we get to say stuck in the old, then we cannot shift into the new. So are you doing so? That is the question. Nathan, healing and love, brother. All right. And of course, we got the elephant here, which will stay up here. I'm going to keep this on the table here from Chloe for clarity. This is a amethyst. So yeah, favorite guys, if you do want to consider donating there, if you haven't already, and those who have, All of you who have donated, thank you so much. And we're only, like I said, only 150 away from clearing Chloe's second goal, so she can get the LLC. So if you want to donate, please consider that. It's on the community tab. Anytime I try to pin it, it gives me that really long link, and then the link's longer than the chat would allow for. Thank you, everyone, for your support. One love to all. We love you, Nathan. Absolutely, brother. Grateful. And yeah. So let's clear some energies for this weekend, set some intentions as well, and see what we've got as the Dharma train here rolls on. I'll have you in my regular meditation, Nathan. Nathan, favor that everything's going well in your universe there, and grateful. And yeah, sometimes, you know what? Sometimes the most unexpected things, like Truthwave just having his internet issues, which happens. We all have. Just the fact that all this works. Remember back in the day when you'd just like go back to like 2002, right? 3, when you were online and just trying to download a pic, you'd be like, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. I mean, what we're doing now, it kind of blows my mind how it just works. Generally speaking, it just works. And really, I mean, Victor's been doing Truthwave for how long? He's not had a single issue up until really today. So what's cool about it though is like Millie said in the chat there, it didn't, nobody runs, nobody ran. I'm like, oh well, it just gelatinized those in the chat into a uniform energy. And so in that aspect, maybe Truthwave actually gave a little more wave this time without the actual meditation. We actually got a little more bonded there. So sometimes the craziest things that happen sometimes turn out to be not so crazy after all. Download speed was agonizingly, yeah, no kidding. Remember trying to go on like Napster and I'm gonna find a song, so we go in like remember LimeWire? Anybody used to LimeWire and all that? And you'd find these seeds and then one song. It's true, Victor. Thank you. We took it upon ourselves. Nobody ran. Nobody was like, well, all right. No, what you saw in Victor's chat there, if you were there, and same thing I would hope happens here, is that instead of people just scattering off into their own centered universe, the chat gelatinized instead. So everybody came together in more of a wave than they would have been before. Then we're just meditating on the individual wave. Now we're all working together as the truth wave to at least hold the chat for a good 20 minutes until the show would have normally ended there, until Victor ended it. So in that aspect, the grand experiment actually was great. And so, yeah, we're not asking Victor to not be in his show too often there, but it really was pretty darn amazing. Actually, kind of worked out better than Mackenzie. Had the song would come in, and then the last bit of the song had a crazy adventure. Okay. The song would come in, and then the last bit of the song had a. Okay. Hope you enjoy your adventure. Good dunning, blamely inspired there. So yeah, part of that is if you go back to the cards here, and it's talking about we'll pull the cards back up real quick. Not your north. Flip it upside down. There we go. So it's asking you to question, flip it upside down. That's what we did with Truthwave, right? So we decided to flip it, since we didn't sit there and complain about it. We flipped it upside down. So can you do that in your universe? Can you, when things go one way, can you flip it upside down and really make wine out of the situation, so to speak? Dale, guys, Josh, it's 4:50 p.m. Wow. For me, I got to be busy by glancing at the chat and listening, mindful of every word. Love you guys. All right, Dale. So yeah, do what you need to do, Dale. It flips me out. It's like, Dale, it's like it's 4:50 p.m. Like, I'm just getting up, doing my day. So yeah, I love how the internet here has kind of broken down. Like Krista over there as well in the evening. It's Krista's evening as well. It's like dinner time almost for Krista too. So, all right, let's see what's going on in it. Could you imagine watching that being Victor? That would be awesome, actually, in a weird way, because he's seeing his chat, gelling with his show. Nobody ran. Nobody was like, "Well, sorry, Victor's out. We're out. See you. Bye." And no, we gelatinized, and it was inspiring, as Trista said there, and it really was, because it shows the love that we have as a family, and it shows that we what it shows is, honestly, in a lot of ways, is like the adversity that that step through it. You can step through adverse situations, step in to flip it upside down, as we did today with Victor's show. I was always wondering what the increase in IT support causes during Mercury. I don't know, but there's been four Mercury. Like, we go back 4 Mercury retrograde. So 4 back, I broke my phone, cell phone. It flew off the back of my car from a gas station. Boom, toast. So I ended up getting a new screen for it, right? Then the same phone broke again. So then I ended up getting another phone. And then finally, I had to get this phone fixed. But yeah, after it's been multiple retrogrades and 3 retrogrades and 2 broken screens and a brand new phone. So I don't know why tech issues happen, Favor, but we're not. This time is the only time what I have noticed is, and this is kind of true, what you acknowledge, like loudly, the more you acknowledge something in your universe, the more it's going to show itself, right? I mean, and we're not talking about hiding your energies, but if you acknowledge, like, Mercury retrograde, which really, if you don't play astrology, if you don't look into astrology, if you're just like regular guy or girl walking around down the street, you don't know, you wouldn't know it's Mercury retrograde, other than your universe would just could get a little wonky, right? So from our end, we in the awakening community, we look into it's a Mercury retrograde. Oh no, and then we start. So we, on the other hand, and I'm not saying we're ginning it up, but at the same time, are we not creating the energies as well as we're looking into the Mercury retrograde for things to happen, right? So if we're looking for things to happen into the Mercury retrograde, then are we not in some sort of way also creating a bigger Mercury retrograde for ourselves than we really want? Like, it's also Venus retrograde. Mars is finally moving out of Cancer too, thank God. But it's also Venus retrograde. So are you then, how are you seeing love in your universe, right? But if you don't see the retrograde, is it really? I mean, it's there, but is it going to be as loud? And it's the same thing with the Mercury retrograde. We give it scotch. There you. What is it? Scotty boy? I'll take gin over scotch, if you're asking, but I'll take neither. The first time I drank anything. Okay, so I was an alcohol in my 2 lifetimes ago. I was a raging alcoholic, right? And so the first time I drank in this physical lifetime, because if you have anything in your field, right? So if you were born in 1970 and maybe you were a crack addict in the 80s, right? So if you come back, technically that's still in your frame, right? So in my case, 2 lifetimes ago, I was an alcoholic, right? So I would buy a bottle of scotch and drink, read the newspaper, bottle of whiskey, and then I dropped dead. I finally dropped dead at the same table with the whiskey. It spilled all over the floor, and they find me a month later. But that carries, right? So in this lifetime, it's 2 lifetimes in 1910. So in this lifetime, I carry the gene, that energy, the resident energy from myself of the alcoholic, right? Of drinking that much. So the first time I was introduced to alcohol, went to my friend Ricky Ezrain's house, right? So we go to his basement, Ricky's basement, and it's me, Ricky, and my friend Jared, and we grab a bunch of bottles. We don't know what we're grabbing. His father had liquor bottles stacked to the ceiling in the basement, and so we just grabbed some bottles. We go back to my friend Dan's house, right? And big bottle of Beef Eater gin. I didn't know it. He had a bottle, I had a bottle. And so we were the ones who were drinking, but Jared and myself. And so we had both drank the gin, right? But Jared drank a little bit of it, but I proceeded to drink the entire 5th of Beef Eater gin in about 8-9 minutes. I didn't realize that gin, if you drink a bottle of gin, the colors, just like psychedelic, just like if you were taking LSD. Crazy. But yeah, I proceeded to pass out. I asked my friend Jared, I was like, hey, let's go walk up to the I was going to say the high school, because Dan's house was a couple blocks from the high school, and we get high or whatever and go to the field, right? The football field, and fart around. So I was like, yeah, let's go be drunk at the football field. And next thing I know, bam. But yeah, so you carry that resonant energy with you. So whatever was in your, keep that in mind, whatever was in your frame in the past is still in your current frame now, unless you've completely cleared it. So for myself, yeah, so I've had a few drinking experiences on this planet, but I've cleared it. I haven't drank them forever. And so I cleared it, but it was still in my frame. So the first time I drank that entire fifth of Beefeater gin and had the same relief. It's like, that's better. But I didn't realize why. Why would I want to drink an entire bottle of alcohol the first time I really got drunk? So in your frame there, keep this in mind. What are you carrying in resonant energy currently in your universe now that you may have been in your previous lives that you're resonating now and not even realize? I don't drink alcohol as the only spirits. My body exactly. No, I don't drink it all either. But we have to clear these exactly. But we have to clear these things out. And so when you're, before we wake up and we're back in, this was back in high school. So yeah, I had to clear all that out. But we carry that. If you don't clear out those resonant energies in your previous life, you can come into this life. So if you're a big pothead last lifetime and you don't clear it out in this lifetime, then yeah, if you go and smoke pot, you're going to be that energy of the pothead you were back in the previous lifetime. It'll just pick up like that. It's crazy how that works. So if you had a if you were like big overeater, here's another one that can carry over. So if you're if you're obese in your previous lifetime, you ate a lot. If you didn't bring that energy in, right, and stop the eating for emotion or what have you, in this current lifetime, you're going to do the same thing, not even realizing what you're doing until that has cleared. We carry all of those trauma, those things that we do to clear our traumas, they carry over in our auric field each lifetime. The question is, if we haven't cleared it, then we have to clear it at some point in some lifetime. So if you're looking around in your universe going, how did I end up with this, or how did I end up doing that? And I think this will turn into our channeling here. Then yes, you've blindly inspired. Where are you, if I may ask? Ooh, this is going to be interesting. She's where you, yeah, she's in Germany. I'm with Suzette da Fifth. You plead the fifth or you drink the fifth? Love you, Shelley. But yeah, that's why a lot of us don't do anything anymore, is because we had that inner auric field in a negative way, right? So it's not like we casually drank in the previous lifetime. So even now, as we're ascending, we have a glass of wine. It's not a big deal. No, most of us don't do anything. And that's a lot of the reasoning why is, yeah, we don't want to muck and gunk up our auric field. But a lot of us also are carrying that resonant energy of, one lifetime I was an alcoholic or I drank a lot. One lifetime I might have done what have you. I plead the fifth. So there you go. So and keep this in mind as well. Generally speaking, if you are a drinker in this lifetime, as this is when we're on the ascension path, the awakening path, where you're really ascending, but just waking up to it's like, hello, waking up to all of this is really vibrating into what really is and vibrating out of what wasn't. How's that? Yeah, so if you're drinking in this lifetime, or if you had been, keep in mind, most likely, because of where we are in the universe now, we're not creating new. We're clearing old to create new, right? So, but we're in that in between space. We brought those energies forward. Most of us aren't starting new stuff like that generally, because we're clearing all that, right? We're moving forward. So if you find yourself in this lifetime having had a drinking problem or what have you, cocaine, whatever it is in your universe, most likely 99%, I would lay down, is something from your past that's resonating into this lifetime that you still are working on clearing, because we're all between this lifetime, the next one, and maybe 3 or 4 generations down the line, cleared out, and we'll all be cleared into source, right? But we have to realize what's attached to us, and those attachments go through lifetimes if we don't clear them. So let's nice area, lots to beauty, caves, magic. I was from Johannesburg, Kingston, Bedfordview, now in a small village in North Germany. That's just when you think about the universe, right? Most of us are sitting here in America, and we couldn't even fathom living outside of that. When you've got Krista from South Africa, then moved to Germany. We've got Dale on the other side of the world, and everybody who's not in America here. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing to think about. How do you see your world, right? From America's point of view, we see the world how we see it, but how do you, I'm curious, for those of you not in America, right? How does the world outside of America, right? Because we only see it from ourselves. And so sometimes when you're sitting in the belly of the beast, you don't know you're in the belly of the beast. We'll leave it at that. But so how does the rest of the world see America is the question. Those of you out there, like Dale or Krista or anybody else who's out there, how do you guys, this is kind of the question here, yeah, how do you guys see America then? And how it's like, because we only see it, because from our eyes we see it from the inside looking out of America as the big bully, right? The USAID. We're not going to go there, but from your end then, if you invert it, right, and look back to us, we never see, it's the same thing for you. Have you ever asked your best friend, how do you perceive me? Have you ever asked your spouse, how do you see me? You, like a mirror, right? um just an interesting thought there. I'm about an hour's drive from Johannesburg. I'm wishing I could get out of here. All right, Dale, here's the question. Why is living in, I've heard a few stories like you have to make sure your house is gated, put, property being taken away from people of certain color and all kinds of stuff. So from your end, Dale, I really only saw America when I moved to Cali from Hawaii. Yeah, Hawaii. That's why I always wanted to like visit Hawaii, but I would feel like I would be trapped. Rick, good dawning, brother. Favor, big healing favor. I would feel like I would be trapped if I was living in Hawaii. It's like I got to get back to the States. Well, first you got to get an airplane ticket, and then you got to take a 4 hour flight to Hawaii, from Hawaii to California. Then you got to take another flight. So I always felt like I'd be trapped if something were to happen, and that's all due to my past lives. Everything that you feel that could happen in this life is generally stuff that's all conglomerated from your past lives that you're feeling now. So if you feel like you'd be trapped living on an island, then where is the paranoia of what happened in your universe, right? That you feel like you'd be trapped. Uh, we are glad you came to Cali, Scotty. We love you here. Love you. Yes, there you go. Or become a really good swimmer. Yeah, there you go. You and the guys from Alcatraz, probably the world's greatest swimmers, the guys who escaped from Alcatraz, right? Um, People do get island fever. Yeah, it would just be like, I would feel like I'm just not part of something. Like I'm out here, and it's like I'm trapped. If it just, I don't know. Like being in an elevator, kind of like you're stuck. But so yeah, I don't know how do you guys see that? But that's it, and convert that, right? So invert that and let people ask people. And here's, I'm going to bring in Saint Germain here. We're going to channel. All right. Saint Germain, we are grateful that you are here and we are channeling through Josh for you to you today. We are grateful. You are out in your universe, right? And you are walking around, right? Are you aware of how people are seeing you? Are you in your frame looking at how others are seeing your frame, right? So there's an invert to when you are walking around, right? Like if your third eye wakes up a little bit, then you can start to see how others perceive you, right? So in your universe, as you are out and about in your universe today, right? Are you seeing how others are perceiving you? Are you standing in your highest frame? Are you standing in traumas and dramas that may not even be in your current universe, that are from your past life, right? So if you are, going back to what Josh had just said there, but if you are thinking about drinking, right, and you are not the big drinker in this lifetime, was it that your previous lifetime you are a big drinker, right? Or if you are doing things that are not totally in character for you now, are you then reaching back into previous lifetimes, right? And if you have current fears and dramas, anxieties and whatnot, are you not realizing that most of and a lot of your fears, your dramas and your anxieties are coming from your past lives, right? That you are bringing those energies in. You have not yet cleared your past life. So from your universe then, if you are feeling down and you are not knowing why, you are seeing things in a different way, right? Than you generally. Are you looking into, could this be from my past, right? If you are like Josh, right, from your universe, doing things that are out of character, right, for yourself, or maybe in character, you do not know. Are you possibly equating them to your past life, right? To what you are seeing, you're framing in your universe. Remember, the traumas and dramas that you had in your past lives are still in your auric field now. And if they're not cleared from your past life will be the traumas and dramas that are created in your current life. So if you, for example, were an alcoholic or a crackhead in your past universe, right? And you come into this new frame, right? Into this new universe, and you are transversing but had not cleared the reasons why you are an alcoholic. Well, that is still going to sit in your auric field, right? If you are smoking the crack cocaine or what have you, doing the cocaine or the heroin or whatever it was in your universe, in your previous life, we're not talking now, right? In your previous life, that is still in your current frame. So if you are doing things that are out of energy, right? So maybe you are doing drugs, or maybe you are always out of your energy, paranoid or what have you, right? But you do not know why. A lot of these things are from your previous lifetime, right? Or the other things that can happen as well, generational traumas, right? So maybe your mother was a drug addict, right? And then you are born, right? And then she did not clear the drug addiction from her frame before you were born. It's going to resonate in your DNA as well. What we are learning and what we are understanding, and if you want to Google this is brand new information, right? They are learning that the traumas in your body are passed down through the DNA into the next. So those traumas bond to the DNA, and if they are not cleared, then they are part of the vibrational field of the person, right? And so that is going to pass in the DNA. So if your father, for example, has trauma from maybe Vietnam War, right? Or your mother has trauma from X, Y, or Z. When you are born, then you are going to, in your DNA is going to be altered, right? The trauma alters your DNA. And so your DNA will then contain the altered DNA of the trauma from Vietnam. Your DNA will then contain the altered traumas from your mother's abuse or whatever it is in her frame, right? So from your universe, then you inherit that. So if you also contains the trauma, your DNA contains the trauma reactions and whatnot from your previous lifetimes. Do keep that in mind. Your DNA is like the world's greatest supercomputer, which you could fit the entire knowledge of the entire universe into one strand of DNA. So what we are trying to tell you is that your DNA is holding the molecular structure of your entire lifetimes. And so while you are standing here on Earth, feeling that molecular structure, you are also dealing with the traumas from all those lifetimes that have not been dealt with. So if you are having, we can use Josh as an example, when he had his past life regression session, and be careful if you have one. Be careful. Trust whom you are using, because if they are putting suggestions of any sort, right? You always want somebody who is not going to ask the question of what only question they are going to ask, really, is what you see. We're not going to be careful, because if they, while you are in hypnotic state, right, and they are asking you what you are seeing, and if they are leading the questions, then they can create for you false memories of what you think your trauma is or what you think you are seeing. Then you will walk out of a past life regression session with false implanted memories, thinking that this was your universe, trying to ground and make change off your universe. So keep that in mind. Make sure they are just very general, right? What do you see? What are you feeling? If they are asking any leading questions, then you are going to step into a universe that is not yours. They can create false memories, just like your Akashic is open to the universe. If you are having an Akashic reading, do keep in mind that the Akashic reader who is tapping into your Akashic can also place false memories in there, or they could just make it all up and then give you the false memory, and you are walking around that way. So keep all of this in mind as you go through your universe. But if you have not cleared what you had from the past, right? Your old energies from previous lifetimes, I'm talking about now, but your previous lifetime, you are still carrying those energies, those patterns. In a lot of ways, you are in no different from the you are now to the you are back then, because that is all in your DNA, right? And so if you are not clearing your DNA, and if you are not stepping into your frame, and you are not working to clear the traumas and the dramas that you see in your universe, then you are standing in your old energy. You are standing in the old traumas. And you are not ascending, you are descending. You are stepping backwards. Each lifetime, you should be stepping forward, clearing more trauma, clearing more attachments, right? Clearing all kinds of attachments you may have. If you are watching porn, you might have an egregore that has followed you from lifetime to lifetime. So keep this in mind as well. The attachments that you have currently in this lifetime could be the same egregores, same energies that were attached to you in the previous lifetimes as well. So if you have, we are going to state this, right? So if you had a drinking problem in your previous lifetime, you create jinn, or energies that then attach to you. If you did not clear the drinking problem to get rid of and clear the jinn, or the energies that are attached to you, you are die, you born. Those energies will reattach to you. They are going to come back into your frame. Oh, he is back. Welcome. We are going to reattach to you, and you will end up drinking again in this lifetime, most likely. If you get past it, right? If you clear the energies, or if you are raised better, right? Maybe you have better parents who put you in a better frame, teach you that you are loved and protect yourself. You could block that. But nonetheless, you still haven't cleared that jinn energy, right? They're still in your frame. You just not activated it or stepped into that vibration. But they are still going to be there for you. It is your responsibility to clear the energies of those who have followed in your frame, right? Who have been in your frame for many lifetimes in some cases, right? So when you pass away, if you have not cleared the energies of this, that, or the other, those energetics, those egregores, right? Those energy forms, right? Jinn, what have you, that have been feeding off of that will come right back to your field. Be like, ooh, he's back. There you go. So the same energies that were eating you alive last lifetime, right? That was you were sitting there drinking in your universe, whatever it is for you, right? Maybe you had a great universe, but maybe you did not. So whatever it was for you, those egregores are waiting to reestablish that connection right now. And they are waiting for you to get you to drink again, right? That is the whole idea. And then they are in the same energy that they had taken from you before. In your universe now, there's no difference in the egregores that you have now and the egregores you might have had in your past if you have not cleared your past traumas and dramas. If you clear your past energies, you clear your past traumas and dramas, you work on why you are an alcoholic. Was it because you were abandoned, right? Or whatever it is, and you clear that, right? Then the egregores go away. There's nothing more for them to feed on. They could try to hit you, drink, 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 but you are not going to. You'll be like, I'm not in that energy. So they will leave. But if you are out of space, not healed, when they put the energy and you get the energy hit to drink, like, whoosh, that is not you. That is them throwing the energy in. Drink. We want some feed. We want to eat. Drink. So then you will get the energy. And if you are not in space, I'm going to go get a drink. So you get up and you go get a drink, right? What you are doing then is feeding those egregores. They are like, yay, old energy is back. And so then you are drinking and they are feeding off of your frame, right? They are feeding off of your energetics. If you clear that, then you are clear, right? And there's nothing for them to feed. And your aura opens up and you are lighter, your darkness. You release some of the darkness from your trauma body. And your auric field goes from reds and blacks, right? To yellows and blues and green, to beta colors. Right now, can you look into your universe and see where you have an attachment or two, where something may be attached into you that is controlling your current, that may have been from your past lives or what have you. All of you do. And whether you see it or not, when you are feeling out of space, could be an attachment. When you are waking up out of frame, could be an attachment. When you are feeling like I need to maybe shop to cover an emotion, or I want to smoke pot to cover an emotion, whatever it is you do, right? To drink, right? Then most likely, not always the case, but most likely there is an attachment that is begging, needling you to go do that. It'll relax you, right? And take away, and we can eat the energies of that if you are an understanding. So from your universe, can you see where you are being fed, right? Where you are being led and trying to be fed so that you can feed, they can feed off of you in your universe. Keep all that in mind when you are out and about in your universe. This weekend, right? You create your weekend. Are you inviting in the jinn, the egregores, and whatnot in your universe? Are you repeating patterns from previous lifetimes that are showing up now, that are creating the universe that you don't want in the first place, right? So are you finding yourself the grand energetics for somebody else to eat, to feast off of? That is the question we are asking of you today. And if you are performing acts or doing things, what have you, that are not in character, then realize that, yes, you are most likely feeding those egregores, right? And if you are drinking or doing drugs or whatever you are doing in your universe this lifetime, most likely it is carried over from the previous lifetime, right? We are all clearing karma. We're not restarting with new broken energies, generally speaking. We are all here to clear it, to see it, to bring the apocalypse, right? To bring what is in our dark into our light, the apocalypse. So from your end, can you see where your darkness is coming up and where they are feeding against it in your current universe today, right? We are grateful, Saint Germain and Archangel Raphael, and we have channeled. Can you, in your universe, see how your behaviors are bringing up energetics and they may be tied to your past? How your lower feeling energies may be tied to your past, and how currently, as you work to clear yourself, if you clear the past energies, right? The past addictions and whatnot. You bring it out, you release those egregores, those dark energies that have been following you for lifetime after lifetime in your frame, right? You release those energies and you stand strong in yourself. Releasing transmission. Ooh. All right, so favor. Wake up a second here. Energy. Smoke the devil's lettuce seriously calms me down and helps me. There's nothing wrong with that. What we're saying is if you had a problem with it in the last lifetime, or you're using it in this lifetime as a complete coping mechanism, then you're allowing for energetics. And yeah, absolutely. But yeah, notice, absolutely. Smoke the, it's the devil's, but it's not the devil's. But yeah, smoke away by all means. Just being aware. That's for sure. Krista, I have so many projects started. I've been working on amethyst, green jade, and now I have a few pieces of labradorite that is looking at me. Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'll puff on that, Rick. Yes, devil's lettuce. Exactly. But yeah, just see what you're doing there. If you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm drunk. And why am I drunk? Then realize that it's most likely past energies, right? So look into your frame. So when I had my past life regression session, I got the last 2 past lives. The last one was just insane, but the one before, I was a straight up alcoholic, and so it just fit that every day I'd get a newspaper and a bottle of scotch. That's why I hate scotch now, but I will. When I drank a bottle of gin, which is the opposite thereof. Green Jesus. Is like a Jesus Jello mold or something. Would you make it out of green? It's the red dye number 40, and the red dye is going to be gone in a couple years. So all you'll have is green and yellow Jello left. So you can make a green Jesus. The most amazing thing to know is that my son chose me this lifetime. On an earthly level, I can't imagine anyone choosing me, but at soul level, I get it because souls choose who we incarnate with. Yeah, and what's even crazier is most of your incarnations, Laura, with your son, in all of the lifetimes that you'll have on planet Earth will be with you. Generally, it's like anywhere from 10, 15 to 40 or more, not too many more, is your soul group. And so every lifetime, in some form or fashion, those 10, 15, 40 or so, you'll incarnate with them. So we're just like now, you're your mom and he's son. Next time he could be mom and you could be son. It's goofy as it sounds, but it's most likely the case in some aspect. You invert, you become the invert. Or you could be like me, like my last girlfriend, right? Was my mom 4 lifetimes ago. That was fun. Figure that out. It's like, wait a minute. There's something going on here. And then poof. It's when these downloads come, it's like you get hit like with a 2x4. Yes, they are, Krista. My dining room table is a chaotic, organized mess. Love it. Yeah, I gave up the drinks for 18. Blessed. Yeah. Well, anybody wants to bring in energies. You can drink all you want, but you're going to get an energetic attachment. Now they'll leave if you stop drinking and you just clear yourself out. They'll leave because there's nothing to feed on. If you're not going to get like angry and frustrated as they try to gin you up, so to speak, then there's nothing to feed on. They'll leave. But if you keep drinking, then they'll call in their buddies as well. So it's no, yeah. And I came into this lifetime because I didn't clear it in the past lifetime. And this lifetime, I came in with those attachments, those energetic, hey, go drink, energetic attachments from 2 lifetimes ago. And so in high school, I drank, but now we don't. And so we've kicked those egregores to the curb because we don't drink anymore. All right, so let's work with the, we got about 10 minutes here. So let's work with the clear quartz. We're going to ground intentions into this weekend as well. But before we do, let's open up and just do a quick invocation to have a great weekend, since we never really did. And we'll do some quick clear breathing as well. We'll jump into the clear quartz. You can, whatever you're invoking for your weekend there, you can ground into the 5-pound clear quartz here. And from chloescrystals.com, soon to be. And yeah, we'll have an amazing weekend. Hopefully you guys have awesome plans. And if not, then you are in the flow to let the universe, pardon me, bring you an amazing, coffee burp, an amazing weekend, energy burp too. When I channel, that's sometimes like an energy burp, but yeah. All right, so let's see what we've got, guys. All right, so take a deep breath in. As we breathe in, we see all possibilities for this weekend. What's something amazing you want to do this weekend? Even if it's just cleaning the house or something, whatever it is, see it and be it. As we breathe out, let's breathe out the energies of our worst weekends ever. So whatever is in your, it's still, unless you cleared it, it's technically still in your frame. So the worst weekend you ever had. As we exhale, we're going to exhale our worst weekend ever. As we inhale, we're going to imagine, it doesn't have to be the best weekend, but a weekend of peace, love, and prosperity. How about that? That's what she said. That's one big stone. All right, so let's take a deep breath in. And as we breathe in, we breathe in awesomeness. And for the weekend, as we breathe out, then we breathe out the worst weekend we ever had. And everybody remembers their worst weekend. Probably remember your worst weekend better than your best weekend, which is crazy how that works. But all right, so breathe in. Hold it for 4 seconds. We cycle our breath. And then release. I like to call it box breathing because, again, if I'm in a box, it's like, get me out. I wouldn't be breathing. I wouldn't be holding my breath for 4 seconds. I'd probably be hyperventilating. All right, breathe in. Hold it for 4 seconds and release. Take one more. We don't do it in twos. We want to do it in threes. I haven't drank for 4 years and quit smoking. Going on 9 years. Smoked weed a couple of times. My last time cured me of it. Awesome. All right, breathe in. And release. Whatever you choose with Mary Jane is up to you. Just realize your relationship with Mary Jane and if it's positive or negative. A lot of our relationships start out positive, but then they turn out negative. But either way, ditto Laura, we had a mutual breakup 4 months ago. It was difficult, but so worth it. I remember it wasn't long ago. Can't forget. Lost. Worst weekend. Okay. So yeah, so as you breathe out there today, just breathe out those energies of the worst weekend. As we breathe in, breathe in the energies of the most amazing weekend. And let's do a quick invocation here for that. So we invoke the energies of an amazing weekend. We see ourselves in our highest loving joy. We see ourselves in our highest helping joy. We see ourselves doing what is best in our universe. We see ourselves in love and peace, and we see ourselves having an amazing weekend. We release all negativity and we release the worst weekend we ever had to the greater source field as we breathe out through the day, and we do not carry those energies into our current weekend. There we go. All right. Hallelujah. Right. So it be. All right, so we're going to work with the quartz here and then keep an eye on the clock here and close out. We've got about 10 minutes. All right, so energetics works best with your permission, this being the clear quartz, the 5-pound, 4-pound clear quartz from Chloe's Crystals, or from Chloe at Chloe's Crystals. You're welcome, Nathan. Thanks for releasing. All right, so let's work with it. Whatever you want to ground into, take a moment and ground into, we'll clear it. I'll clear this later tonight, but work whatever you want to ground into the quartz here for your weekend. Ground into it here, positive generally, of course. And so let's work with the clear quartz here. So as energetics works with your permission, so sticking around would be, I've experienced many worst weekends. Well, may you not anymore. And as we release those worst weekends to the greater source field. All right, so let's work with the quartz. Then we'll close out with a group hug. I love this thing. Yeah, Rick, this is thank you, Krista. This is an amazing piece of quartz. All right. You always have my permission to imbue me. Well, you really want to do that. Don't give anybody blanket permission. Nathan, as much as I love you, brother, you want to take that as a situational basis, because you could be out of space and be like, no. Or maybe you never know. You always have to gauge somebody else's energies. Do the energies of the healer, right? The person, the healer, but the person who's providing the energetic healing of some fashion or another, are the energetics. Does that energy vibrate with you at that moment? I could be having an off day, and you'd be like, no, I don't want that from you. So yes, keep that in mind. Feel the energies first before you ever give anybody blanket permission. And by giving somebody blanket permission, if you state that, then technically I could do energetics without you knowing on you. And I wouldn't, but yeah, you never want to really do that. Oh my God, Yolanda, what do we got here? My relationship with Mary Jane, I would smoke only a few times a year. Last time it was laced with fentanyl and meth. Oh my gosh, where did you favor? That's grateful for legal dispensaries, but I get it. Who would lace weed with fentanyl and meth? That's insane. Favor. Uh, I love that, Dale. Lord, every time I see your name in the chat, I smile so big. Thanks again for being a blessing, for blessing me with my reading. Oh, Dale, that's awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna keep this short. It's already 9:28. We gotta be at the shop. So we're gonna close this out. Short energetics, but any energetics works. And then we're gonna do a group hug and close out for the week. And be there on. So, just a couple of channel announcements. Sunday will be Krista. I will set that up. We will have Krista this Sunday. Tuesday again is Laura B with Tarot and Oracle, and I will get everything set up. We're only 150 away, guys, from extra doubling down on Chloe there with taking care of the LLC funds as well. So, if you want to donate, that would be blessed. Those who have, thank you so much. For anyone who has donated even $5, 25 bucks, $100 in some cases. So thank you guys. 77 bucks. So anybody who can donate, it would be grateful. We can get Chloe started, but I suppose by next week we should have it cleared out anyways. All right, let's seal this off. All right, guys, let's close this out with a group hug here. A Josh hug. So, and again, join Truth Wave tonight at 9:45. We should be, hopefully, should be. And yeah, today was honestly the Truth Wave going down. Just gelatin is when the energy goes wonky. Just got your half-hour notification, Krista. All right, so fantastic. So Krista will be live at the top of the hour, and she does a daily cleansing, which definitely awesome. So I will be listening from the Crystal Shop. Make a mean poutine. Oh, there you go. Laura B. Indeed, go to Massachusetts. All right, guys. Let's close this out. So left arm up onto the person to your left, right arm up to the person to your right. Make a big circle here. And as we send those energetics, right? There we go. I'll pin that. All right, so there's the live for, I pinned the message there from Scotty. Thank you. And that Krista there at the top of the hour. Blessed and thank you. All right, so left arm up and right arm up. And as we spin the energy, we're going to spin it around in a circle. I'll take it from left arm. It'll come around through your right arm, right across your heart chakra and back around. So spin it. Oh, you're welcome, Dale. Spin it around and spin it around. As we spin that energy around, we lift it up, right? It rises up and we send it up into the greater source field. As we keep doing so, we're like a reverse tornado, right? We just keep sending that energy up as we go through this here. So we send love to all those out in the greater source field. Send love to everybody here in the family as we spin up the energy. We send more and more love through each other and to the greater source field. Send love and healing to everybody here in the group. We send healing and love to Rick. And we see Rick in the highest healing light. Perfect markers there, brother. We see Suzette driving away in her car, right? And her mom getting 4 days of respite care, maybe even longer. And we see the fridge not being unplugged and Suzette sleeping through the night without having to turn on the heat again. We see Lindsay in her new universe, in her new apartment, and Henny in her new apartment as well. We see everybody out there. We see Lindsay with a fridge full of fresh food, and we also see her hanging out with her children, right? We see all those out there who don't have a hug, right? We see them with the ability to maintain and gain a hug. We see those out there in their universe. Don't have four walls or a geodesic dome, something round, which is probably more energetic to live in, right? We see everybody with the right and the ability to have a home of some fashion and not a mud hut. We see everybody in those homes with filled pantries and filled refrigerators. 40% of the planet doesn't have a fridge. So we see them with a fridge full of fresh food. We see everybody with the right to have clean and fresh water, right? We see everybody on this planet with the ability to get a hug as needed, with the ability to find love as needed. We see these soldiers of the world putting their weapons down, shaking hands and apologizing to those they would have shot without even physically knowing their name. And we see the governments of the world apologizing to their citizens for stealing their money and placing it in militaries, and then placing their citizens in those militaries. Exactly. We see all of that ending, and we see the apologies. We see the governments of the world actually taking care of their citizens in a non-karmic and loving way. We see everybody in the universe gelling in love. We see Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, clean water, clean air, no more forever chemicals, no tic-tac-toe in the sky, no plastics in the water. And we see each of us having an amazing weekend, reaching out, being in love, being of help in our universe, being of joy and enjoy, and having the most amazing weekend we've ever had. Hallelujah, and so it be. All right, guys, thanks for sticking through that. All right, so there we go. Another week of good dawning. Thank you all so much. Craziness when you really think about it. The Dharma train keeps going as we roll into April. We have April and May, 2 more months, and then we have our year anniversary. We're rolling into our 10th month of good dawning here, and that blows my absolute... Scotty, message retracted. So have an amazing weekend. Remember, everything you do or don't do creates your loving, living universe. If you're still in your dark night or darkness, as you release your darkness to the light and the light comes in, your cells vibrate faster. You drop a lot of your heavy energetics, right? So your cells spread out, light comes in, you vibrate faster, you step into your light body, you spin faster, pulling things in, and you create your loving, living universe. Yeah, and Scotty's got to go buy some scotch. Favor, have a weekend as amazing as you are, guys. Thank you all for being here. Love you all, and I will see you all in the next, and in this case, the next will probably be on Sunday. So stay awesome, guys.